What is up, guys? I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're back with some more r/mi the butthole. If you're new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe and maybe that notification bell too. And a huge thank you to the members of our channel. You are truly appreciated, as always, of course. And I just want to say a massive thank you to all the new people that's joined us and old as well. It's been the support on the channel the last couple of days has been absolutely amazing. We've been covering Am I the Butthole, and for the most part I think you guys have been enjoying it. I know there's a couple of people that saying, oh no, I don't like this, and I will be covering other stories too, so don't worry about that. I've got a couple recorded which I just need to edit down, so they will be following very soon. And with that being said, let's get in to today's stories. Much love, guys. Our first story comes from Jimothy Is Your Uncle. Am I the arsehole for suing my girlfriend after she had my 1967 Impala project taken to the scrapyard? I'll try to keep this short. I had a 1967 Impala 4-door that I bought in February 2019. A couple of months ago, I bought my first house that had a 2.5 car garage. I moved the car in and started tearing it down for a complete restoration. I had the body in one bay and the chassis in another, plus the whole garage filled with parts. About 2 months ago, my girlfriend came to live with me during this whole crisis and the whole time has hated that car. She wants to park it in the garage, but I have 2 acres of land with a lot of nice places to park under shady trees, or hell, even in the barn if it has to be inside. I tell her tough luck, it's my house and it's not like I can just throw it back together real quick. Anyways, I was out of town for a couple of days on a business trip for a small local company I work for. When I got back, my girlfriend was all smiles, making me food all the time, doing all the chores, all that. I thought maybe she was just happy to have me home, but then I realised that I didn't see her car in its usual spot. I asked her where she parked so I can make sure I mow that area to keep it clean, and she said not to worry because she's parked it in the garage. I asked how, and she told me to go and check it out. Turns out that while I was gone, she hired some people to come over and move everything related to the car, including the drivetrain, body, chassis and all parts, and take it to the local scrapyard. I was absolutely dumbfounded. I'd spent over 11k on that car, including new parts, services and the car itself. I told her that I was going to be taken her to court for that, and she brushed me off like I was being dramatic. I told her that it's done between us and to pack her things and leave. I admit I was really angry, but I did end up getting a lawyer, as I have all the receipts for the money spent. And I have her on my house's security cam footage letting the guys in and watching them take it all. I think I can win. Her family and friends are absolutely blowing up at me, saying it's just a stupid old piece of junk and that she cannot pay back all that money I spent, and that I should just let it go. But I've been putting all my time, effort and money into that car for a year and a half now, and god damn it if I'm not going to get justice for what she did. Am I the arsehole? Edit, thank you so much for the support and awards and everything. I'm just glad to have some people on my side. I got a call from her mum about 20 minutes ago, and she told me that I was ruining her daughter's life over a stupid car. I told her she ruined her own life. I've been gathering documentation and stuff, and I'm about to head to the police station and file a report, as suggested by lots here. Once again, thank you all. She moved into his house during this whole pandemic thing, and then just gets rid of his old car. How can you do a 1967 Impala? They're worth a lot of money once they're restored, aren't they? You have to correct me if I'm wrong here, but I've heard of these before. There's no way this guy's been the arsehole for this. As he said, he spent over £11,000 on that. She just got it sent to the scrapyard. Those guys probably didn't take it to the scrapyard. They probably took it themselves. They're probably restoring that car now. My God. What do you guys think about this story? Don't forget to vote in that top right hand corner. Our next story comes from Untradition. Am I the arsehole for not letting anyone have any more weddings on our property, even though it's tradition? My husband and I own this beautiful property just outside the city, where lots of people like getting married. Over the past 30 years since we inherited from family, we have hosted many weddings as well as other events, as the family member who owned it before us did. We live in the city for our jobs, so we'd go out there on the weekends for all the events. Our family was to continue doing this for another year, then we would stop and both retire from our regular jobs and move on to the property. Since my job decided to make my work entirely online, we thought it would be a perfect time to move up our plans. My husband retired, I'm going to continue working for another year, and we're going to move into the house on the property. When the whole thing with the virus happened, we had 8 weddings scheduled. We of course refunded everyone's deposits and notified them that we would be closed for events. Since we've decided to go through with our plans, I notified them and put on our Facebook page that our venue was not going to be reopening. So far we've gotten a barrage of messages and posts on Facebook with a lot of people upset. For example, one woman was very upset and talked about how her daughter was going to get married there this spring, and how everyone in their family had gotten married there, and how she was the only one that isn't going to be able to get married there now. A lot of people replied to her comments saying the same thing, that this property needs to stay open, and that we're being selfish and ruining so many people's traditions by keeping it closed. We don't want to keep it open, it's just so much work for us. The property in question also isn't very big, so having a wedding there twice a month, which is our average, would be very disruptive. The place people getting married is right outside the house, and the house itself is used for the wedding, and usually has people going in and out of it. We don't want all these people in our house once we are moved in. Edit, some people seem to be confused, so I'll just add the 8 weddings were cancelled because of the virus. They were all during March, April, May, and the last one was supposed to be this upcoming weekend, when everything was still closed. Updates, you guys have definitely gotten my husband paranoid. Now he's pricing security cameras and gates. I spent the day double checking that everywhere online said we were closed. I also ended up deleting the Facebook page and our other social media accounts. All we have up now is the website with the closed notice. I'm still getting some angry emails, but as soon as I get done talking with people that want to buy the chairs and other wedding stuff I'm going to log off of it. My husband and I are considering having the place open just for some people who want to get portraits and other pictures taken, but that's it. We're just not up for any more big parties. You know, it's sad that they're not going to get their weddings there, they're not going to get their traditions there, and it's a bit disruptive to them. But, you know, there's loads of wedding venues. There's got to be, especially in the US, there's got to be tons around as well. They're all over the place in the UK. I mean, I could list about 10 within a couple of miles of me that I'm sure would love the business once the virus passes, or I know it's going to be a while, but once it sort of relaxes a little. However, I think not the arsehole in the situation. They're wanting to retire. They don't want people running all over their land, which I can totally understand. And they're just doing it based off their traditions. I think that's entitlement right there. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote in that top right hand corner. Our next story comes from a throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for telling a girl in my social circle that she's being a bully to the neckbeard in our group? I'm 21 male, quarantining with my university flatmates, 3 girls, all 20 female, and 2 other guys, 20 male and 21 male. One of the guys we'll call Sam, 21 male, looks like the typical neckbeard. He's largely overweight, wears anime t-shirts, unkempt facial hair, and has spots. However, he only looks like the stereotype. He's not creepy or holier than thou. I spent time with him and been to many parties with him. He just suffers from sometimes severe social anxiety and low self-esteem. Well, he went back home for something, and I was in the kitchen with the rest of the flatmates. One of the girls, we'll call Amy, immediately began roasting Sam by saying, "I'm so glad that ugly neckbeard is gone, and how she doesn't have to look at him anymore." Honestly, I immediately felt disgusted. I don't like bullies, I don't care where they're from or how they look like. I was once treated like that, and it isn't nice. I immediately snapped at Amy and said, "You're bullying him, and that's not cool." She looked at me shocked. I confronted her and things went quiet. Later, my other flatmate Henry said I was an arsehole for interrupting Amy, and said that she was only joking around and having fun. I told him that he's complicit and he should be ashamed, but I do wonder whether I was the arsehole for embarrassing her. Am I the arsehole? Info, some ask him whether he has a creepy behaviour to others. He is definitely not a creep, as other girls I know have said, and I address this here. He says, he actually has a girlfriend who is into similar stuff he is into, and she's usually at parties with us. He's never once shown a lick of interest to other girls. He just suffers from extreme social anxiety, even in social situations. I've asked some girls I know what they think of him, and they said he's just really quiet. Never had any girl tell me he's creepy, and these girls usually tell me about which creeps to stay away from. It definitely could be the case that some girls may see as extreme social anxiety, sweating, quietness, stuttering, as creepy maybe. Either way, Amy has never commented on his behaviour, just his looks. She usually makes snide comments about other people who are less good looking, and this time she chose Sam as her target. Really important behaviour at the end, because especially Sam having a girlfriend as well, I think it points out that why would he be a neckbeard in that situation? He wouldn't be trying to please the girls around him and all that sort of stuff, and he's just a regular dude in an unfortunate situation, you know. And I think it's really bad for Amy to treat people like that. especially with people with anxiety already, that isn't going to help his anxiety, because eventually this probably will get back round to Sam, and it's just not fair, you know. As myself and many of us in this channel have experienced bullying in the past, I know how damaging it is, and if that comment was to get back to Sam, I imagine it would damage him mentally for quite a while. What do you guys think about this story? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote in that top right hand corner. Our next story is from Darth Hernia. Am I the arsehole for calling out a co-worker for poor Zoom etiquette? So we've been working from home and having daily team meetings with 15 plus people. There is a co-worker who is both older and a latecomer to the team. Let's call him Boomer. We've decided on team meeting rules at the beginning of the arrangement, and I guess Boomer doesn't know about them. We also have a Facebook group that Boomer isn't invited to. Not that we have anything against him, it's just that nobody wanted to take the first step to invite him, since none of us know him well. Boomer has left a very bad impression on his first day. He was late to the meeting since the host forgot to add him, and proceeded to explain the situation to the group when we were all in the middle of a task. He constantly forgets to mute himself when others are talking and remarks to himself. We agreed no talking over the microphone, only communicating through text chat, and always raising your hand if you need to speak. We tried PMing him and asking him to mute himself or raise his hand. He would comply, apologise, and make the same mistake after his next turn to speak. Half the time he would ignore our PM altogether, as paying attention to both video and chat is obviously too much for him. Since Boomer was late, doesn't know the rules, and is just clueless with Zoom in general, he's not only slowing us down but annoying all of us significantly. I posted in our Facebook group after the first day that if he kept up I will chew him out, and I received unanimous likes and positive comments. After 2 meetings of putting up with his incompetence, I finally had enough and yelled at him. I told him that if he cannot handle Zoom, then he shouldn't be working on this team, and he needs to start following our agreed upon rules or get the fuck out. I expected my teammates to back me up, but none of them said anything. After the meeting, the host called me and said I was too mean and I needed to apologise to Boomer, and that Boomer had opted to work via email instead of Zoom. But I was only saying what everyone in the room was thinking, and we tried dealing with him politely and it didn't work. I felt betrayed that I was made out to be the villain, when in reality I was trying to help the team to be more efficient. Am I the arsehole? I think you've got to be the arsehole in this situation. I mean, you said at the start, the Boomer as you're calling him, which I think is harsh in itself, missed the etiquette meeting because the host forgot to add him. So how was that his fault so he didn't know the rules to begin with? How was that his fault? Followed by no one's inviting him to this Facebook group that you've all created, so you're segregating him there right there, and you're talking about him behind his back in this Facebook group, so you're making him out to be the villain, and then obviously flexing by telling everyone that you're going to bring him down a notch or two in the next meeting. That's not on. That's bullying behaviour, as well as being completely unprofessional too. So yeah, I think you need to suck it up and apologise. But more importantly, what do you guys think on this story? Do you think the so-called Boomer was the arsehole, or do you think the OP was the arsehole? Let me know in the comments below, and do not forget to vote in that top right hand corner. Our next story comes from Swordfish Baloney. Am I the arsehole for sharing a bed with a female co-worker in a hotel? I, 24 male, work in media, and I manage an independent enterprise. I have only one employee, a 21-year-old woman who works as my producer, editor and assistant. A few months ago, I was invited by a European student organisation to visit 10 college campuses and give a series of speeches, interviews, discussion panels, etc. The organisation provided me with travel and hotel arrangements and said that I could bring one other person with me on the trip. I asked my girlfriend, 24 female, if she wanted to come with me, as she had never been to Europe and I thought that she'd have a really good time on the trip. However, she was busy with grad school and was not available at the time, so I took my producer, Alex, with me so she could help me with the lecture series and with organisation, scheduling, finances, etc. That was the reason that the student group allowed me to bring another person with me on the trip after all. The two of us are also pretty good friends and I thought we could have a good time on this trip. And Alex and I could also visit some friends or family that we had in Europe, whom we hadn't seen in a while. My girlfriend also thought this was a great idea and was supportive. She's very good friends with Alex too. They went to the same college and I met Alex through my girlfriend. The trip was great and everything was a success. However, in 4 out of the 10 cities, the group did not book 2 separate rooms for me and Alex. Instead, they booked a double room. Alex said that she did not mind sharing the bed, that we just had to make the best out of the situation, and that we didn't need to make it uncomfortable. I suggested that I sleep on the floor or we alternate, but she insisted and said it was fine. My girlfriend was quite pissed off when I came back home and mentioned this to her. She claimed that this was not appropriate at all, and said that Alex was a very attractive woman, and did not believe me when I said nothing transpired between us. She seems to insinuate that Alex is very promiscuous, and that she did not trust her. She also kept bringing up that we slept under the same large hotel bed cover, and that no girlfriend would ever be okay with that. We resolved that fight and I apologised, and things seem to be better between us now, but I was wondering if I was the arsehole in the situation. Now I might get shot down in flames for this, because I know some people are cool and say, oh, you should trust your partner in all situations, no matter what, but I gotta say, if I was with a girl and they was in a hotel with a man and I found out they were sleeping in a bed together, I would be really pissed off. Maybe that's just jealousy getting a hold of me or whatever, but I wouldn't be happy with that situation. I just don't think that's appropriate at all. And to not even raise the situation straight away, like if I was in that situation and I had like a female colleague and I was going to do that, which I wouldn't anyway, I'd at least phone beforehand and say, look, we're in a really bad situation here, there's only one bed, blah blah blah. Or I would just sleep on the floor like a normal fucking human. Anyway, what do you guys make of this story? Am I totally in the wrong? Is OP in the wrong? Or is everyone in the wrong? Let me know by voting in that top right hand corner, and also let me know what you do by commenting below, because yeah, it's one of those ones where I'm sort of like, I don't know. But I think arsehole in this situation. Anyway guys, as always, thank you for being here, and a massive thank you for the support recently on this channel. We seem to be slightly on the increase at the moment, and I'm just so thankful to you for that. You just surprise me every time. Thank you so much. I've also created an r/am I the butthole playlist, which you can find at the very end of this video, so be sure to click it and go through all our Am I the Arsehole stories. Thank you for being here, you're truly appreciated, and I will see you in the next one. Much love guys, goodbye.